Got another treat. Stick around. We're going to bring Tony Katz up from PJTV, good friend of mine. Not an Iowan, looks it, right? He's from California. Anyway, very entertaining. He's going to take a few questions, or give the senator a couple questions. So stick around. We'll try to see if you can hear it.
We can do this. Thank you.
Forgive him, he's just jealous of the hair. Thank you all so much for being here. How about another hand for Senator Rick Santorum? Hope you don't mind if we do this live. Ask him a couple of questions, and feel free to respond, to reply, the yays or the nays as you see fit. Here at PJTV at the Iowa, oh, that's very well done. Like you've done this before, sir. At the Iowa straw poll here with Senator Rick Santorum. Sir, you just spoke to this crowd at the Iowa Republican booth, and you talked about compromise. When do you draw the line on what you will and won't compromise on?
You have to go back to core principles, and you have to look at, are you moving the needle substantially in the right direction? And I look at it in this way. For example, during this budget debate, and I got criticized from some in our party. I said the focus should have been from the very beginning, should have been on accomplishing the goal. What were the two things we wanted to accomplish? We as conservatives wanted to accomplish in this debt ceiling increase. We wanted to do two things. Can anybody tell me what the two things are?
Decrease spending.
Decrease spending. Well, how about what the real goal is? It's an increment. What's the real goal? Is to limit the size of government, right? And what else? Balance the budget. What one thing accomplishes both of those objectives? The balanced budget amendment to the Constitution. The balanced budget amendment to the Constitution, signed by 47 Republican senators, signed by Susan Collins and Olympia Snowe, balances the budget and limits spending to 18% of the overall economy. Federal spending is, where do we come up with that number? That number is the historic average since World War II. Okay? Where are we now? 25%. So where are we now with revenues? 15%. So both are below or above the national average. But we're saying, what's the objective? Does the bill that was signed by the president, negotiated by the House Republicans, get us to that objective? No. Does this get us even any kind of substantial way toward that objective? The answer is really no. Does it jeopardize national security funding? The answer is yes. So what should we have done? 2/3 of the American people support the balanced budget amendment. We could have started from day one saying, Mr. President, here's our objective. We want to balance the budget, not cut, cap, and balance. Balance, balance, and balance. Let's go out and say, this is what we want, Mr. President, and I'm willing to negotiate on other things. We'll negotiate on other things, but we need to get to balance. And remember, if we get to 18% of GDP, it doesn't matter if you increase taxes to 20% of GDP, you can only spend 18. So now there's no reason to increase taxes above 18% of GDP. So what you've accomplished is you've told the Democrats, in order to grow government, what are you going to have to grow? The economy. So now you turn Democrats into pro-growth people, right? You turn everybody. I was just over at this Strong American Now booth. You turn Democrats into wanting efficiency in government. Why? Because if you only have 18% to spend, you better spend it wisely. And you better infuse things that are going to make sure that we're getting efficiency, because you want to spend that money if you want somebody on the left. It changes everything. Every race from now on will be, how are you going to get to that balanced budget and 18% of GDP? You change the entire political spectrum. Instead, we fought about $2 billion or $20 billion. You're fighting about how many angels on the head of a pin. We should have said, the American public, President Obama, this is what we want. We're drawing the line in the sand. We will not do the debt ceiling increase. We'll compromise on how much spending you want to cut now, but give us, you see, this is the difference between American Wall Street mentality and Main Street mentality. Wall Street mentality is the next quarter. Main Street mentality is, we're going to plan a business for years. Let's plan a business for years. Let's think long term in America. Let's get the balanced budget amendment passed.
Now, I know, sir, you have to go. I know that the senator has to leave, but allow me to ask you, if you don't get the result here that you're planning to get, are you still in this race?
Am I going to get the results here that I'm planning to get? Anybody have an opinion on that? I think we're going to be just fine, and I think you're going to see a lot more of me. Thank you all. God bless.
Senator Rick Santorum. Sir, that's a pleasure. Stay with us much more from PJTV.com at the Iowa straw poll in Ames, Iowa.